15. Okay, qian is composed this way. We've got two dots on top and then two components underneath, the moon and li dao pong. This part is knife. Why is it written this way? I'm afraid I can't tell you. Dien, dien, hung, pie, hung, ja, go, hung, hung, shu, shu, go. Bien, we have two familiar components again. We have the zhou pong, the moving radical, walking radical, and also li, strength or effort. This is a substitute for a much longer set of components for traditional characters. Hung, ja, go, pie, dien, hung, ja, na. Bien, indicating to the side because you have the indicator of motion. Ying here means to welcome or to greet someone. And again, we have the moving radical. That is kind of an extended relationship to meeting someone, but there you have it. The phonetic is written like this, and I believe that this is originally a depiction of either a person or feet facing each other. This component by itself, yang, means to look upwards, and it's just phonetic in this component, or in this character. So we start with pie, shu, ti, pie, hung, ja, go, shu, dien, hung, ja, na, ying. Guan, the traditional character, actually I'm taking a small shortcut there. The traditional character is this, guan. So this phonetic on the left is replaced by yo, the right hand, and then the jian is simplified to that. Guan, a perspective, a view. Hung, pie, na. Shu, hung, ja, pie, shu, wan, go. It should be shu, wan, go. I was a little distracted there. Hung, pie, na. Shu, hung, ja, pie, shu, wan, go. Guan. Li, this means inside. It is traditionally a depiction of, it is an ancient reference to a unit of length, a li, and that unit of length changed quite a bit from dynasty to dynasty. They always had to adjust their measurements when the dynasties were established. So in effect, you have a field above and to earth beneath. So perhaps the measurement of fields. Shu, hung, ja, hung, 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 shu, hung, li. And it's used for inside because it has the same pronunciation. Chu, kitchen. It's composed of three components. We have this as shelter again. Most anciently depicted a cliffside or a cave. The next component is bean. Possibly it could refer to the stove or the oven, the fire placed, the pot placed on a fire with something overhead. And then This cun is a depiction of the hand with a mark for the wrist, but in this case probably refers to hand or movement. So it's the shelter where things are being cooked. Hung, pie, hung, shu, hung, ja, hung, shu, pie, hung, hung, shu go, dien, chu. Gong is a collection of people, people above, and this is a modified form of people also, so people above and below. Gong, public. So we have pie, na, pie, ja, dien, gong. Pong, to the side. This is phonetic. The top part, to stand, li. Maybe anciently that was a depiction of two people or a person with his legs. But that's only partial. The bottom part is actually this cover. And then fang, below, is phonetic. Fang means square or a place or a destination. In this case, it's just phonetic. So we have this item on top, the dien, hung, shu, pie, dien, hung, ja, dien, hung, pie, hung, ja, go, pong. Zo, I've been writing this quite a number of times. This is the character for foot, zu. So if you modify that slightly, it refers to walking, to go. And we see an adaptation of it in the radical for movement. So zo, hung, shu, hung, shu, hung, pie, ah. Ting, a hall, a lobby, a great room. Hung, pie, you have this depiction of a shelter again. And then ding is phonetic, depiction of a nail. It's just phonetic in this case. Ting, hung, pie, hung, shu go, ting. So we've learned this character is noodle, but it also means face, or it can mean like a facet, like the facet or the side or the angle of a cube or over a solid of some kind, a shape, a crystal. So it is sort of an outline of the face with the nose in the center and the eyes to either side. Hung, pie, shu, hung, ja, shu, shu, hung, 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 mian. Can. The top component of this is sometimes used as an unofficial simplification of the character. I think if they'd gotten around to it, they would have simplified this one. So what you have on the top is bu. Now, I don't know that this has any particular relationship to the meaning of the character, but bu, to crack or to tell a fortune. And then we have evening immediately beneath that, bu si. And on the right side, you have the right hand, yo. And then beneath it, you have shi, to eat. And shi is a depiction of food stored in the great clay pots that they have. So you just combine those things together. You have the bu on top of xi. The right hand, and then shi. I will write that again. This is a little bit more involved. I know you can always rewind. So we've got this on top, bu, shu, hung, and then pie, hung, pie, dien, and then yo, hung, pie, na. So this part here is sometimes used as a simplified form. You can see it on shops and so on. And you have pie, na, hung, hung, ja, hung, hung, shu, go, dien, na. Can. Remember, if it's spelled with a C in pinyin, it's pronounced can. Can. Si starts with sandian shui, and of course, sandian shui is 3 dots, water, sandian shui, and the component that goes with it is xian, which we remember from the sprout coming up out of the ground. That's a depiction of it, the sprout coming up, and then an indication of growth beneath, I suppose. So we have the 3 dots, dien, dien, ti, pie, hung, shu, hung, pie, shu, wan, go, si. So here the phonetic is xian, but it's still, this by itself, xian, but it's phonetic for the character si, to wash. And again, for shower or bath or to bathe, we have the sandian shui, 3 dots, water, and then this component is phonetic. What you have is a depiction of 3 things in a tree. It has no current meaning other than the sound, but it could refer to 3 birds chirping in a tree, making a sound like zao, I suppose. That would be grackles. Here we have the water. Dien, dien, ti, shu, hung, ja, hung, shu, hung, ja, hung, shu, hung, ja, hung, hung, shu, go, pie, dien, zao, wo. Okay, in this case, this component on the left is a depiction of an eye that is looking askance. So it's an eye turned sideways, the way you look when you lay down. And then the bu on the side, we've learned that as telling a fortune, but it's an adaptation of ren. So it's a depiction of someone lying sideways, indicated by the eye looking askance. So the eye looks like this, mu. So I suppose if you turn it and twist it, then it might eventually come out looking that way. I mean the image, not the eye itself. So here we go. Hung, shu, hung, ja, hung, shu, shu, hung, shu, dien, wo, lie down. The next character, zhuo. The top part is phonetic. So you've got this component, which when written like that is zhuo, meaning excellent or wonderful, and you have bu underneath it. But the way I remember it is that you have a centerpiece. There you have your flower on top, and here is the tabletop. And the table is standing on 3 legs. It's a 3-legged table. Zhuo. So shu, dian, shu, heng zhe, heng, 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 shu go, pie, na. Zhuo. Yuan. We've learned this. Oh, I don't think we have. This character by itself originally means the origin of things, the beginning of things, what comes out of two. So before there's two, there's just oneness. So there's no distinction or difference. So then you have two, and then what emerges is the origin. It's just phonetic here. It is also the character used for the dollar in China, the yuan, renminbi. The outside component is the border of the garden or the park. Wei zi kuang is what it's called. So we do the frame, Wei zi kuang. Wei is the character to surround. Zi means the character Wei, and kuang is frame. Shu, heng, zhe, go, heng, heng, pie, shu wan go, heng, yuan, sort of a depiction of garden. Zhen. This could be considered a number of different things. Could be considered this character here, which means straight on top of a stand, if you want to remember that. There's another interpretation of the character that you see in some religious texts. You start off with the stand here, and then an eye representing a person on the altar, and then a strand going up like this up into the spiritual world. So Jun is to ascend and go up into the heavens. So this character Jun truly, really, in religious contexts, means something else. That might help you remember the character, but it's and it is sometimes written this way as an alternate form, with the wispy thing on top written more like qi, like 7. So to write the character, it is a shi, a 10 on top, heng, shu, and then shu, heng, zhe, and then you have 3 heng in the middle. Heng, 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 and then another heng. Heng, pie, dian, zhen. Really, genuine. End of lesson 15.